morning, good afternoon or evening, spiritual global entrepreneurs. Welcome to the EGU podcast. Today you're going to learn all about your soul vibration. I am Michelle Reinhardt, creator of Entrepreneurs Globally Unite. And today I have a very special guest waiting in the wings, and we're diving into a few of my favorite topics: energy, vibration, and the connection to our soul vibration. Our intention is to give you solid tips and tools, plus a guided channeled surprise. The only thing you need to do is set your intention to receive. So hang with us and learn the language of the universe so you can flip your world to above and beyond your wildest dreams. Please grab a pen and paper, turn off your pings and zings for the next 40 minutes, and we'll get cracking as I welcome to the show the one and only Aleckson.
Hi, Michelle and viewers. Lovely, lovely, lovely to be here with you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you. Thank you, Anne. Anne is the soul speaker, giving a voice to the power within. She mentors women to stop the struggle and step into flow so they can fulfill their potential and live a life of purpose and prosperity. Anne is the direct voice channel for highly evolved, non-physical stream of consciousness, all that is, who provide transformation through the vibration of the spoken word. Wow, Anne, where did you click into this? There must be something more in life.
Well, in actual fact, that was the question I was asking way back when, 12 years ago, when life was not going well for me. As is so often the case for so many of us. I was questioning, surely there must be more to life than what I was living. An unhealthy life, and an unhappy marriage, a horrible job that I was working in, and I won't tell you what that job was. Don't want to ruin the whole industry.
Oh.
But essentially, I was asking that question. There's got to be more to life than this. Why can't I be happy? Someone said to me, do you know that happiness is a choice? And I said, BS, basically.
Thanks for tidying that up.
That's not true. If you could choose to be happy, why would I not choose that? And I'm obviously not, because I'm not happy. But then there was something in me that kind of went, what if he's right? What if he's right? What if you can choose happiness? So I started a little journey of trying to find happiness. I read lots of books and I did all the exercises and I started to meditate, and that's where I learnt about the source energy. I had an experience where I started hearing voices for a very practical, very corporatized, very Virgo-ish person. It was a big journey for me to move from that to now, where I'm very happy with what I do and I'm very out there and telling people, no matter how mad it sounds. I did go through a stage of thinking I'm going to have to check myself into a mental hospital.
That's going to be my next question.
Yeah, that's right. So, but essentially, yes, it was a search for meaning. It was a search for more from what I was living that led me to this.
And I hear you loud and clear, and I distinctly remember walking one morning with my dog and thinking, this is mad, this is hard, I don't want to do this anymore, I just don't, there's got to be a better way. And for me, this is my second journey into spirituality. It hit me about, 20 years ago, and I let it go. And of course it just keeps coming back and hitting you on the head louder and harder.
It does. Hello, I'm still here.
And what you said about you had the voices, that's interesting. Was that a direct experience, an experience that you were led into by someone, or was it, how did that occur?
No, well, it wasn't. So what happened was I started reading these books about happiness, and I started doing the things that they were telling me to do. And one of the things that every single teacher that I came across told me was that I had to meditate.
Okay.
And I'd never been a meditator. I find it hard. But I found a way that worked for me, and that was to count backwards so that all my thoughts, they'd still come in, you can't help that. You're a human being. That's what happens. But the more I did it and the more I allowed myself to be in this quiet space without thought, the more I could hear this other voice giving me advice, talking to me, giving me ideas. And even in as much as sitting in a meditation one day and having a word or a name given to me, which was Step Up to Joy. That was actually my first business. So I immediately got out of my meditation, went and bought the domain name for Step Up to Joy, which became my coaching business that I used to have many years ago. They also taught me how to, and again, this is just thoughts that were coming to me, or the voice that I could hear, because it was very distinct to me. It was very much a voice that was speaking to me that wasn't my voice, or it was a voice that was so far inside me that it felt like it was outside of me, right?
I understand.
And they taught me how to drop in from my head space into my heart space, think about things that gave me joy and bring that energy into my heart space as well, and then expand that out as far as I could. And I called it a joygasm, because it truly did feel like that. You know what I mean? It gave me such a feeling of ecstasy. And it was around joy and having an open heart, nothing to do with sexuality. Yeah. But of course, spiritual energy, the energy that we use to channel, is the same as sexual energy. Any kind of meditative state or spiritual state, it's the same energy. That's the thing. We've got to remember that all energy is energy.
Can you explain how energy is to you, the energy and the vibration of energy?
Oh, that's not an easy question, is it?
No, it's not an easy. I don't have people on here to ask them easy questions, Dan.
Yay. So the way that it first showed up for me was that I would start to notice that I could see what most people would probably call auras, but to me they're always just a shimmering grey. There's no colour to it. I've never seen colour auras, but I see auras around everything in this shimmery grey. And I also see when there's beings around me, like past loved ones or angelic beings or guidance beings, that it's always just a feeling. So the energy for me is always a feeling. It's not dressed as a certain person, although sometimes I can get a feeling that it is that energy. Like for one time Jesus showed up in my healing room. Now I couldn't see that it was Jesus as the way that I've been taught as a Catholic to see Jesus, but it was the energy of that Christ consciousness energy. So for me, it always is a feeling. I have a feeling that they're there, and I can see something, but I can't identify except by the feeling of it, and sometimes by the words that are spoken.
I'm filled with that feeling right now. I know exactly what you mean, Anne. I truly do.
Yes.
So you were clicked in to help people in the name of service to connect to their soul vibration.
Yes.
How does that help someone in their lives?
Well, I can certainly tell you how it worked for me and how it works for my clients. And essentially, if you can find your happiness, or find your happy place, if we want to speak like Peter Pan, find your happy place and be in it as often as you can without neglecting those realities of life, and that sometimes we feel bad, and we have to look at those things as well. There's no pushing those away. That's not what this is about, but rather coming into feeling happiness within you. And when you start to do that, you can then learn also how to connect into what I like to call your soul. Now, you can call it your higher self. You can call it the universe within. You can call it your guides if you wish to, but for me, it's the soul, that essence of us that comes from the source that we each have inside us, which when we're ready to, or when we start to wake up, we can drop down into it. It's around your heart space. You can feel it. I know I'm sending out a feeling of it now because I can feel it myself, so the listeners will also be feeling it. To drop into that part of yourself, I like to think of the soul as being just sitting right behind your heart space. And at some point in your life, usually around the time that you start saying there's got to be more to life than this, I like to think of that as your soul knocking on the back of your heart saying, hello, can I come in yet?
Yes.
Because it's been there our whole lives and we don't let it in. So when we start doing meditation and getting quiet and things like that, we connect into that part of ourselves. Now, that part of ourselves is here to guide us into our greatness, or into being our higher self, or into being Christ consciousness. Again, words are just words.
Of course.
Whatever it is for you. And so when we first tap into that connection with our soul, we invite it to start guiding us through our life. So if we have illness, if we have troubles in our life, we can just simply let our soul self know that we want to change that, simply by being, of course, and by saying life's got to be better than this. Our soul says yes, and I'll show you how.
Yeah.
And it truly does. There's really nothing we need to do except come into our soul self and invite that part into our life every day.
I love that you say that, and there are so many people that are trying to fix broken people, that are seeking perfection, that are really, really struggling. And the truth is, we are all we ever need to be once we, as you say, jump in behind that heart and listen to that knock and pay attention. I'd love to just add on that with regards to the meditation, and for anyone that may struggle also with meditation. My best meditation is when I'm out walking in nature. I don't sit well either, although I'm getting better at it, because that's when I get much deeper. But I can take off up the mountain for an hour and a half and have the most wonderful conversations in my mind with my gods and whatever. And that is how I learned to still my mind enough to hear that voice.
Oh, well, that's exactly right, you see. We're not supposed to necessarily. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the hour-long sitting, meditating. In fact, the 10-day retreats and things, I think it's beautiful for those who wish to have that. But I believe as we evolve and as we are moving through our evolution, that it's simply a matter of connecting with that part of ourselves and bringing it into our life in whatever we're doing. So washing the dishes. I'm a great meditator when I'm washing the dishes. But what I'd love to share a very quick, really easy way to start meditating if you want to. I share this with people in my Go Direct with Your Guides program, where I'm teaching them to connect into their own guidance. It's the simplest and easiest way to start meditating. Everybody I've shared it with just loves it and says, oh, how did I not know this? Why has it always been so hard? All you really need to do if you want to spend 10 minutes in meditation every day is sit down, just be relaxed, lie down, whatever. And again, I'm not one who says you have to be straight backed, you have to be this or that. Just whatever's comfortable for you. And start counting down from 100 to 1 backwards. Okay. And then when you get to 1, you go and you start at 30 and you come back down. That's actually 10 minutes for most people. So as you breathe in and out, count 100, then 99, then 98. Now, here's the thing. While you're doing it, you'll forget what number you're at and you'll go off with your thoughts, at which point you just go, oh, what number was I at again? And then you just go back to doing it again. And I often forget what number I was at. So I just start again at whatever number comes to me, like 88, I'll start there. But people tell me it is the easiest way to actually clear your mind. At some point you'll feel your mind drop off and you'll be able to start hearing those inner parts of you, those inner voices that we all have that know what our future holds, that know how to help us get there, and that absolutely know how to fix any struggles that we're having in life if we'll just listen to them.
Wow, that is, and I find it personally amazing that the law of attraction, The Secret, you know, they've all been around for so long and people have tried them and often come up wanting because it doesn't work. And it's because they haven't sunk into that part of them where the magic is.
The problem with it, and by the way, I love the law of attraction.
Oh, me
It's
too.
an absolute thing. Unfortunately, the way that it's been taught recently, and by recent I mean probably the last 7 or 8 years, even going back 10 years, has been, it's an outside thing. It's another thing that you have to perfect. It's another thing that you have to get working for you. It works for you. You've been doing it all your life.
Exactly.
You've been doing it all your life. You've had a thought, you've taken an action, and you've manifested the thing into reality. You can't not do it. Unfortunately, people think there's a way that you have to do it that isn't the way that they've already been doing it. So we kind of turn ourselves inside out when we first start learning about it because we think we're supposed to. But if we would just kind of go, you know what, now I understand how that thing I created was created, so now I'll just keep doing that.
Absolutely. And I say to my clients straight up, congratulate yourself. You are a perfect manifester. Everything in your life you have called for. You have it. You can do it. Now we've just got to focus on getting more of what we do want and less of what we don't, and things shift.
Yeah. And even beyond that, I have a I suppose it's a mantra. In actual fact, it's a truth. And it's like the law of attraction. It's a law that life is always happening for me. It's not happening to me, it's happening for me. So when you truly live into that, when you truly get that, you actually, in every moment, know that whatever's happening, even if it feels like it might be a struggle at the moment, like there's no money coming in, something like that, you've got to look at that and go, if life is happening for me, why is this happening? In fact, you can get to a point where you don't even have to have that conscious thought. You are already in that process. So that in every moment you're recognizing if life is happening for me, then this thing that's happening is the thing to be happening right now. Otherwise, it wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and I do love that. There is a step, I believe, before that as well, Anne, and that is in retraining the mind.
Absolutely. We've got to retrain our brain because we're human beings. We have habits. So retraining our brain changes those habits or puts us away from that habit and into this new habit. Exactly. Absolutely. I'm a big proponent of changing your brain and rewiring your brain, especially around I am enough. I think it's huge. And I've been through the process myself. Almost 365 days. It'll be 365 days next week that I've been doing this process, and it's changed my life.
I can imagine. And I actually love in your online community, MYOV, I love getting in there and inviting your community members to take up some of my time for free so that I can help them smash through a few of those limiting beliefs. And I know there have been some fantastic results in there. So it's lovely to be able to give value to those that are in need and help them shift things fast. Things move as fast as we're ready to let them go.
And you know what I love right now is that yesterday someone shared an image or a survey or some sort of thing saying that this is where things are going to move in the future. And there was actually written there, instead of people going to psychology and that whole process, they'll be going to energy workers. And I was like, yes, of course, literally. We can, in one session, clear something that someone's been working with a psychologist for years and years and years, because it's all about talking about the thing over and over and over and over again. Of course, we know that with the law of attraction, where your focus is, you're going to just keep living in that place. Whereas you and I take them away from the thing that happened and into the beyond that, so that they can heal.
Actually, it's Bob Proctor's words that says, where your energy goes, focus grows. And it's so true. That's exactly right. It's very powerful. It's a powerful time for us as healers, as energy and mindset workers as well. So, Anne, I'd love to hear more about your, you've got and I did this yesterday, so I'm speaking from experience, your gift that you have on your website to help people understand their soul vibration. How did that come about?
Well, actually, through the law of attraction, I'm playing with you. But essentially, what I've noticed over the last few years is that the more I get in tune with my guidance, the more I live by being led by my soul. In other words, as I walk into my office every morning, I ask my soul and the soul of the business, what can I do for you? So I'm talking to my business, what can I do for you today in order for you to serve? Right? So how can I serve you so that you can serve, I say to my business. And then I follow that guidance. I truly live my life following that guidance with some parameters around it, because I can't literally get on a plane and go somewhere and those sorts of things. But we've done the negotiation already. They know where my boundaries are. I know where my boundaries are. But so essentially what happened was I joined a program where you created a quiz, because I thought I'd done one of this woman's quizzes and I thought, this is really cool. I really love this idea. And then she said, well, I'm doing a course. So I said, okay, I want to join it. And I paid and I joined. And I watched for 2 months as everybody in the group started getting their quiz ready, started doing it. And I was still sitting there going, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And then people started to be building their quizzes and I kind of gave up. I kind of went, you know what, I really want a quiz, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I could possibly make a quiz. So I unattached from it, right?
Yes.
Just like the law of attraction says.
Yes.
State your desire, then unattach from it. In the unattaching from it and in the time space, the guidance starts coming through. My head was spinning constantly with ideas of how I could do this quiz. Once I had unattached from it, I started getting ideas. Oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? And then I started writing notes about it, which, by the way, are not even close to how it turned out. Process. And then one day, in probably 5 months into the training, everyone else was about to finish. I was in the shower, as I always am. I'm in the shower. And it started to come in. It just started to pour in. So I know that for me is my creation time. I literally come down to my office and I start writing. And I got my quiz out first, ahead of everybody else who'd been doing it for months. Because if you can step into that law of attraction process, into that whole creative process, as I like to call it, you have an idea and you desire to bring that into reality. So then you have to know that the universe has answered you, because it always does.
Of course.
It's gifted the thing to you. So then you have to just simply allow the inspiration to start coming in. And then in that moment when you're ready to do it, you have to be willing to drop everything else. I was obsessed for 3 weeks. I just did this for 3 weeks. Dropped everything else. Did it for 3 weeks. Created it, finished it, got it out before everybody else who was in that training, which really surprised everybody, because they were like, where did you come from? It was quite amusing to me, because I'm not competitive. I've never been competitive. But anyway, so yeah, essentially what happened was I had it planned out to be a certain way, and I was basing it around the chakras and all sorts of things. But when I let go of all of that and just let my guidance give me what needed to be given to the world, because I truly believe that's what happens. We only create what the world is asking for or needing in order to then take their next step. So I just let it come through, and it came through the way that it did. And it was far better than I ever thought I could possibly have created it.
It's fabulous.
So, which persona did you get?
Oh, I can't. It starts with an N. I know
exactly which one it is. Nasma.
Yes, that's the one. Yes, that's it. Yes, isn't she divine?
She is, yes. I fell in love with a little bit with each of them as I was creating them. That's so interesting. But you know what? If you've got entrepreneurs in your group, as you do, and people who are building businesses, these 7 personas are now my ideal client.
Oh, wow.
I realised that as I was creating them as well, that these are actually, a couple of them are actually based on clients that I was working with at the time. So these are who I speak to whenever I do any of my marketing or setting up new pages or anything like that, sending emails. These are who I speak to. So that was another bonus to it, you see, because I never really had an avatar to speak to before.
Yeah, yeah. So you can totally define your niche, and
Exactly.
it's so much easier as a business person to speak to a person.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it literally, the creation of this changed a lot of things in my business, because it first of all, it showed me that when I desire something and ask for it and then let go, the inspiration will come through when it's ready. I've just got to have patience for that period of time and get on with living. Essentially, you've got to get on with living. Yes. With whatever living is at the time. And when it's ready and cooked, essentially, when they've cooked it all and it's in your head and it wants to start to come through, you've just got to take the action and get it through.
Yeah, that's amazing, Anne. I love that. Now, we promised up the top of the show that we would have a surprise for our listeners. So I would love to invite you to tap in, if you would, please, to find out what we need that you have the ability to deliver for us.
Okay. And I think it's really important to say this, is that in the evolution that we're going through, you know, and there's a lot of people who still do it this way, but I just want to be very clear about, so my innate ability, and by the way, as you know, in each of the quiz books, there's a list of innate abilities that each persona has. One of the innate abilities, of course, there's psychic abilities, there's astral travel, you know, all of those spiritual kind of gifts that we've always called them. One of the innate abilities is direct voice channeling. And while there are people who do it as a, you know, with their eyes closed and they go into trance and their body gets taken over and these sorts of things, as we evolve and as we're more and more of us connecting with our higher self, it's actually a blending of the two things, a blending of our human self and our higher aspects. So we can do it with open eyes. We can do it as if it's us speaking. My voice changes just slightly, just so you know, you can notice the difference. Years ago, it changed so drastically that it was kind of frightening to me. It seemed like a little Indian man. It was quite funny. And so I'm saying that to say that once you're practiced at this, once you've been doing, I've been doing it for 12 years now. Once you're practiced at it, that part of you is always with you. Yeah. So while I'm speaking, we're all speaking, and then when they're speaking, we're still all speaking. It's all of us together. It's a blended thing. I believe our evolution is about blending our human self with our higher aspects so that we can live our higher self, live our soul's life on this earth, right? Bring heaven to earth, essentially.
Yes.
So I'm saying all of that in order to get myself ready and to bring through a message for you, because the guides are all here. So I'm just going to, I do often close my eyes because the light's a bit too bright when I'm doing it. We are honoured to be here with you at this time, and thank you very much for this opportunity to share our guidance and our light and our love with those who are watching now and in the future, of course. Thank you, Michelle, for this opportunity. We wish to simply have you feel into a knowing that, and we like to say we are all that is. In other words, there is nothing that we are not. We are all that is, all that was, and all that ever will be. And so are you. You are that also. In other words, you are all that is. You are a piece of the source that has come to earth to live a human experience, particularly through this time where you are changing the world, changing the way the world has been for many millennia, changing the world to be heaven on earth, so to speak, to be exactly what you want it to be, different than what it currently is. You chose in this moment to come forth to play your part in this role, and we urge you, indeed we are energetically raising your vibration to a point where you are ready to step up into your full power so that you can open your potential and start fulfilling it as the life-changing, as the growth-changing, as the guide, as the leader for others to do the same. In other words, what we're saying to you is, as you open up, as you become all that you can be, you invite everyone around you to do the same. As you raise your vibrational frequency, everybody who comes into contact with you will be risen as well. And this is how you change the world, one person at a time, starting with you. Thank you. We are done.
Thank you.
I always giggle when I finish because it just feels so nice.
Wow. Thank you, Anne. I'm honoured, very touched that you were able to share that and bring that message forward for us, for entrepreneurs, for those of us that have chosen this lifetime to come back and
we all have.
Yeah, we have. There's no question about it. It's just a matter of when people wake up to realise that and step into their power and their truth. And I guess that's why I'd like to just invite anyone that is thinking that their life might not be where they'd like it to be. I'd love to remind them that they don't have to do this journey alone. The journey of a lifetime, it does begin with a single step. And we'd like to reach out and help you connect to yourselves. You have an amazing future and something to bring the world. And if you don't feel that you have, then you're wrong, because you do. And you will find that in stillness, in quiet. And you will find that by asking the questions. You'll get there a lot quicker if you get someone to help you. There's no question about that. Don't you agree, Anne?
Absolutely, because one person awakened can awaken every person that comes in contact with them. And that's why my group is called Mind Your Own Vibration, because it's about being in your highest vibration. And when you're in your highest vibration, anybody that's around you is either lifted up or moved away. First of all, it releases a lot of struggle in your life. But secondary is that you lift up everybody around you and then they go out and do the same. So it's only about you. You only need to worry about your own vibration. So the work to do is to take that step into a higher vibration and start working on raising yourself up and knowing that as you do that, it has a ripple effect.
Yes, I love that. Thank you, Anne. Now, I also know that you've got 3 little hot takeaway tips for our listeners.
I do, but you'll have to, because I've been in that mindful feeling. You'll have to just read the little thing for me and I'll expand.
I certainly can. Download your quiz.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I'd love to invite everybody to go and do the quiz. It's just 6 really quick questions. That's very hard to say. 6 really quick questions that you just answer intuitively. And then you'll get one of these booklets at the end of it. It's 10 pages. Lots and lots of information about how to work with your soul vibration, how to start raising your vibration, and how to connect into your vibration every single day by wearing certain things or by having certain colours around you, or even a place to travel to that your soul vibration is in line with. So I would love to invite everyone to do that. After you do that quiz, you do receive an invitation to get a soul vibration activation. That's a little bonus thing that comes along with it. And that's really the start of getting in touch with your soul. Once you can feel that part of yourself, you can go there in every moment.
So the second point there was the 1-second exercise to connect with your soul every day.
Okay, I love this one. And this is really how I started getting in touch with my soul more and more and more. Literally all you need to do is, as you wake up in the morning, when you're just waking up, so you're between wake and asleep, you just simply drop yourself down into your heart space. So you just bring all your attention and bring all your energy into your head, drop it down into your heart space. So by just bringing your focus there, you could touch it. That sometimes helps people to focus there.
Yeah.
And then just simply say, good morning, soul. What adventures will we get up to today?
I love that. That's so beautiful.
It just activates your soul to kind of go, okay, we've got permission to be part of the day, to give you advice, to lead you in a certain way, to tap you on the head if we think you're going the wrong way and suggest a different way. Yes.
And start playing a game and having some fun with it.
Well, see, I think that's what's most important, is that it's not serious. This is not supposed to be serious. It's supposed to be joyful and fun. I mean, you know, if we look at other teachers, like, for instance, Abraham Hicks, they've got a scale. What's at the top? Joy.
Oh, I think I've got it on my wall. Empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation, gratitude, and joy. Yeah.
I've got the book in my bookcase over there. Exactly. These are but they don't feel heavy. They don't feel serious. They're not. We're not supposed to be all serious about spirituality. Sure, it's a serious thing, but the way to get there is through not seriousness. So playing and having fun and it's interesting, isn't it?
Yes, and I agree. I've got a couple of clips of my children giggling outrageously when they were kids, and whenever I feel a heavy vibration, I just click that onto play, and it just lifts me right back to that moment and in that joy and that unconditional love, and it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, very much agree with that. And the third point here was how to go direct with your guides.
Yeah, okay. Well, in actual fact, I think I shared that already, because we were talking about meditation, and I was talking about the process of counting backwards.
That's it. Exactly.
It really is key. Obviously, there's other things, and I share a guided meditation to bring you together with your guide in that program, but first of all, I teach people how to do the counting backwards, because it might take a few days, it might take a week, it might take 2, but if you consistently do this, at some point you actually physically feel like your brain goes away, your thinking mind goes away, and there's an empty space. And that's if you've been doing the work in the morning, waking up and saying, good morning, soul. What adventures will we get up to today, or whatever you want to say. I just like that one.
Yeah,
then that part of you is already sitting there waiting for an empty space. And if you give it that empty space, you'll start to hear it. But I do want to say that for some people, I mean, obviously I hear a voice and I have a voice come through me. I go into a light trance state to allow that to happen. Not everybody has that same experience. For some people, their guides show up in different ways. So they might just have a feeling. They might just intuitively know things. They might have feathers drop on the ground for them and present in that way in order to give them a yes or no kind of response. There's just so many ways that it happens. I just want to be really clear about that. Yeah. So that, because often when people have been watching me for a while, they make an assumption that they're going to hear a voice, as I do. But it shows up in different ways for everybody. That's why I list all the innate abilities in my booklets here for the quiz, because some people, it's easier for them to do one of the innate abilities than another. You can do all of them, by the way. Everybody is capable of doing all of them.
Yes.
I just chose this one to do, to use out in the world. I don't know whether I chose it or whether it was...
It chose you.
But essentially, you know, we have the ability to do all of these innate abilities, but we don't have to do them all. We can just pick and choose. When I'm channeling, of course, I also am clairvoyant, claircognizant, clairaudient, all of those things. They are all part of it.
Absolutely. And I love that you raised that point, because the second that we are expecting things and we put judgment and conditions on things, we're just putting a brick wall up. We've just got to sink in and trust and state our intentions. Always be clear with exactly what you do want and ask for the help that you need to get there. So,
and be open to receive the help when it's offered to you. This is so key, I think, for human beings particularly, and even more particularly women entrepreneurs, because we've given so much and we've been brought up to believe that we're here to give, so we don't easily receive.
Thank you for that. And I opened the show by inviting people to just sit back and allow themselves to receive. So I hope that has been the case. And would you please take a moment to share with our viewers how they can find you?
Sure, thank you. Yes. Well, my website, which is annealeckson.com, but I love to play on Facebook. It's where I am all the time. And I have the Mind Your Own Vibration group that people can join. If you just type in Mind Your Own Vibration, that should come up. As well as that, I have my page on Facebook and also my profile. So anywhere around there, I'd love to connect with anybody and answer any questions. And, yeah, essentially that's pretty much where I am, Facebook.
Well, thank you, Anne, for your commitment and your contribution to humanity. For those of us that have found you, that will find you, your gift is unbelievable, and thank you for tapping into it and finding your purpose. And that's something that you knew was there, that you just had to go digging for and allow it to surface. So thank you, Anne.
Well, thank you, because here's something else that I know, and I know it for myself, but I know it for each and every one who's watching as well. Everyone who came here to this planet at this time has a purpose to fulfill in the changing of the world that's happening. And there are people waiting for you to do your thing. There are people waiting for you to step into your purpose. They came to learn from you. And until you step up and start doing it, they don't know where to find you. So I just want to encourage everyone to really whatever it is that's calling to you, start doing it. They're waiting. We're all waiting for you.
It's so funny you should say that, Anne, and I love it, because it was in a meditation that my group, Entrepreneurs Globally Unite, came to me, and I went and bought the domain and started the group that very day. I was told very clearly you need to build a platform so people can find you. So that being said, guys and gals, take the easy road and connect with someone that inspires you to take quantum leaps and bounds in your life. Don't wait another day. You can find Anne and you can find Michelle very easily on Facebook. You'll pick me up at $1,000,000mindset.com or within either of our groups, and we are here to serve. And with that, Anne, thank you. I bid you all farewell, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.